the video starts, make sure you follow our socials in the description and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Welcome back to the Offbeat Podcast, back again this week with me, your host Luke Bardsley. As always, if it's your first time here, please do like, comment and subscribe. It really helps pushing this out. And I am here with a very entertaining and big guest here. Speaking of which, it is England's Euros final day, and I've got one of England's number one in the building.
Yeah, big day for England and the whole UK.
Oh, it's Tom Atkinson's in the building. How are we, mate?
I'm very, very good. How's yourself?
I'm good. I mean, I think you have probably travelled the furthest of any guest I've had so far to get here.
Yeah, from Carlisle. Carlisle's a long way away. Not many people know where Carlisle's in the Lake District. It's about, 2 hours 15 it took me to get here. 8:45 I set off today, so good commitment to get on the show.
It's good commitment. Out of anyone here, it's the most commitment I've seen. I'm really happy, yeah.
It's in the middle of nowhere. It's a nice place and that, but wow, it's nowhere near anywhere important.
Always, yeah, but I mean, you've got the Lake District.
I know. It's
not the worst place to live, is it?
When you're in the city, you drive half an hour away, and you're still in the city. But if you drive half an hour away in Carlisle, you're up like some random mountain. It's great, man. It's
middle of nowhere. Yeah. You always go through as well when you go to Scotland on the train.
Yeah, exactly.
That's straight through.
Scenic motorway, that one. Scenic motorways up and down Carlisle.
Well, just sort of introduce yourself. So you are currently the England number one for amputee football.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've had Liam on the podcast before, who plays up front.
Yeah, Burbs. What a guy, man. What a guy.
He's such a good lad. And it was a story. He was so open and honest.
Man.
Like, on here as well.
He's the exact same off camera as he is like on camera. He's such a genuine bloke. And he's to be fair, like all respect like within football, because I see him a lot in football. He's a great dad to his kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've seen all the way he interacts with kids. I always speak to his little lad Junior, because he's always interested in the football. But man, yeah, really good lad.
And he's bloody good at darts as well. I still need to have him a game of darts. He's so good, it's a joke.
Like proper, like right. We always say like get the dartboard at England. Like I don't back myself, but I'll just gift it the Gab and I'll just back myself. Even though they'll probably think I'm washed. I'll just back myself. I'll be washed, but Burbs, wow, that guy can play.
He's a joke.
He can play.
We were talking a bit about darts, and he was like, I average like 60. And then he's put a video on like a couple of days after the interview, and he was like, just chucking hundreds and 140s, like nothing. Man. I'm like, what?
You bang on. I don't know a sport that guy isn't good at, but football's pretty much one of them.
I mean, we were speaking about, so off camera, a little bit about the vibe in the England dressing room, because if you do want to know a little bit more sort of about England amputee football, go and check out the podcast with Liam. We did cover off in quite a good detail. But I wanted to talk a bit about the behind the scenes aspect of it, because let's be honest, majority of you aren't professional.
Yeah.
It is a charity funded, and to get out to these major tournaments is a big financial commitment for you as well.
Absolutely. I mean, like in England, amputee football is very much like grassroots level. I'd describe it as like a charity, whereas other places, like I've got a contract to play in Poland, that's professional over there. In Italy, it's got a lot of funding now. In Turkey, it's fully professional, and it's just that England's lag behind. Even though you'd think of England as one of the most developed nations, in terms of amputee football, we're definitely not.
Yeah.
And the commitment to go to these major tournaments, whether it's like entry fees, hotel costs, flight costs. I mean, it's a massive financial commitment because you've got a big team to send across, not just your playing team, but you've got like your staffing team, your physios, your coaches. I mean, it's a hard job to do. I mean, the financial side of football is something I'd never think I'd be have knowledge of, but through the constraints of what's been going on, I've got like quite a knowledge of what goes on, and it's very much interesting, but it's quite sad at the same time, the fact that the number one ranked team in Europe at the time was struggling to get to a major tournament, which is crazy, isn't it?
It's mental, especially because I'm a big cricket fan.
Yeah.
And I know one of the lads who plays for England PD.
Yeah.
And they're fully funded.
Yeah.
And they've all got the same. They wear the same kit as like the England.
Yeah.
Every other English side. They've got a massive coaching staff. They do international friendlies all the time. Go to all the major tournaments.
I wish.
And it's mental when you look at it compared to how I look at the England amputee. Because I'd never heard of England amputee football before I met Liam.
Yeah.
Which is mad. Bear in mind, I'm big into sort of non-league football, big into any kind of football. And for someone like me to have never really known about it, it's a shame, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and like it's crazy. Like amputee football is the third biggest form of football in the UK, behind obviously mainstream, women's, and then amputee football. Like, so like Burbs and like Jamie Tregaskis and like loads of people are getting lots of views for the sport. But then people are seeing like, oh wow, these guys have got loads of followers. They're playing for the Evertons, the Portsmouths. They're thinking like, wow, these are like big teams, so they're clearly on good money. But very much not. Like it's just kind of like an image of like the professional side. But like if you look deeper into it, it's just just volunteer football pretty much.
And it's and some of the stuff that you lot can do as well. Like if for anyone's watching this, after you watch this video, please do and just Google England Amputee football. See some of the highlight reels because they're a joke.
Yeah, I know. Like
some of the players,
there's some major players there. Some major players. I mean, it's my job to stop them from getting them highlight reels. It's my job to stop them getting them clips. Like, but yeah, there is some major players. So respect where respect's due. Like.
Definitely, but you were in probably a quite fortunate position. You qualified for playing outfield and in goal.
Yeah, I do. I was born with a missing. Sorry, I was bit by a shark when I was 6.
I thought you were going to say I was in a scrap.
Yeah, no, that's a story I tell everyone because that's what they want to hear. They want to hear an interesting story. They don't want to hear that little boring stories. They want to hear something like traumatizing. Yeah. But I was just born without my left foot and without my left hand, so technically I could play outfield. Goalkeepers are probably missing a left hand. Just a hand or an arm in general. And outfield's missing a leg. So I could technically qualify as both. I wasn't born to play outfield, being realistic. I think if I had a crutch, I'd just be going around in circles, because I'd only be able to hold one. So I'd be useless. Although, at the end of sessions sometimes, like I'll grab, like, for example, Burbs' crutch, and just go stand up front in the box and say, whip some balls in. It's not that hard, fellas. I've seen you put all these balls off target, and I bet you'll get on target. And I've done it a few times. I do back myself. But no, maybe not.
See, you said you've done it a few times. We've got to do it every time.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
Different level, innit?
To be fair, like, their job is really, really hard, but I just like taking the mick out of them where at the end of a session, it's like, fellas, you've just put about 20 balls past the post. Let me give you a demo and then have another go. And I think I've maybe done it like 2 or 3 times. So I put a decent example out, but they're the pros at that, not me.
Definitely.
I just laugh at them.
I mean, do you ever get them trying hand in goal as well? Because obviously you have to have one arm strapped in.
Yeah, so sometimes they think, right, like I'm being all cocky and like, Aki, it's not that hard. And then I'll get them to have a go, and then I'll be humbled very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. And I mean, it just changes the way you balance as well.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Especially if they're missing a leg on that side and they put that arm in, they've got no weight on that side. So, yeah, I think I'm better in their position than they are in my position. But there'll be a few of them not happy.
I was going to say, that's been clipped up and said in every group chat you're in.
There'll be a few of them not happy, like, but they know it's true.
And the big tournaments are mental. So you've just made the semi-final, didn't you, in the latest Euros tournament?
European Championships,
yeah. And again, because it's publicly funded, you have to fundraise a lot to get over there, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, the whole effort was like GoFundMe's and that. Like, that's crazy. We went on this morning, like, in regards to fundraising. I mean, like, that's crazy. Like, we should have never had to do that.
It's good, though, that they have you on there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, they reached out to us, which is the amazing thing. And, like, they recognise the story and they want to pick up, which is amazing, being realistic, and all credit to them. But the fact that we had to be the number 1 ranked team in Europe, and like some people that are like contracts to play amputee football and like spreading the message of amputee football, and we had to fundraise to go to the European Championships is crazy.
It's
like,
mental. Like,
you wouldn't see that from anyone else. You wouldn't see like Kobe Mainu, like Bukayo Saka, and like Harry Kane sat on a bench speaking like, we need some money to go play at the World Cup. Like, you would never see that. So seeing it for us is just kind of like a bit humbling. But at the same time, it got the message out very, very quickly. And like,
it did.
There was a lot more people that knew what amputee football was after that. So there's 2 sides of the coin pretty much, because at the same time, why do we have to do that? But on this other side, it was a lot of exposure.
Surely it's going to push that way eventually, though, because if you look around Europe and the best teams are the ones with the most funding, and England have got to look at that and be like, right, we got to want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, we're somehow competing with the professional teams with all the money, just because we're quite good, not because we've got loads of funding. Like, think about the training facilities that they've got. Think about the management team they can bring in. Not saying that our management team's not good, but like, think that they can afford the top dollar stuff to help out their players, whereas we're just going by with what we've got. Like, our coaches are putting a lot of effort in to try and give us the best they've got, but working against the system pretty much, by the fact that if they need anything, they can bring it in. If they need to fly over teams for friendlies before tournaments, they can do it, whereas we can't. So somehow we're still performing in the top levels of Europe without the budgets of the top teams in Europe.
Which is mad when you think about that. Yeah. I wanted to speak a little bit about sort of like the downtime aspect of these big tournaments, because at the moment, obviously everyone's watching the Euros, and there's obviously like 3 days gap between games.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't have it. You not have to see your family in most instances. So what do you lads do on your downtime?
I think it's a really interesting one. I think any player or like staff who's been to a major tournament would understand it. That if only every once in 3-4 days is a spotlight on you. Other times you're away from your family in a different country, in like a complex, and it's just about managing your downtime. Like, I'm always the guy at England that brings like the Xbox, whereas some people bring like different things, and like you go swimming, but at the majority of the time you're not doing anything. Like, it's all just like maybe in your room or walking around the hotel on walks, but you're away from everything. You'll train sometimes, but it's never like a long session. You're never there for hours, so it's just about managing your downtime at a major tournament. I mean, some players get to like the point where they've done many tournaments and are used to it. But if you come in like as a new player, for example, like Kobe Manu who came into it, managing the downtime from being at like Manchester United where you're playing, then you go at rest day, then you go back to training. Whereas now you're playing and then you're not playing again or doing any sort of like major training for another like 4 days, which is quite a change for a lot of people. And especially being away from your family and your friends, your pets for so long, it's quite a different experience for a lot of people. So I think tournament experience is something on that side, off the pitch, is something that you could definitely look into, and that's where the difference could be made.
It's mental that, because one of a lad I work with is good mates with Cole Palmer's cousin.
Yeah,
obviously he's a local lad.
Yeah.
And what Southgate does really well with England is the downtime, managing it. So they put on like family barbecues and they get family and friends to come round and stuff like that, just to try and keep it fresh, because you must get bored.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I mean, like, there's times where you feel like it's Groundhog Day. When you're not playing, like, you just want to get back to playing.
Yeah.
Especially if you put in a performance that is, like, maybe, like, below average, and you know you could have done better. You just want to
want that bounce back.
You want to make it right as soon as you can. But then you know you're not playing for a while. Amputee football, we can normally get, like, quite close games, and so you don't have to dwell on it for too long. But for example, the England team, if they're, like, for example, the Slovenia game, where they weren't really happy with the performance, and rightly so, they wanted to, like, make it better. They wanted to prove it. But they didn't have an opportunity to do that for another 4 days. So you've got a lot of time to think about stuff in your head and overthink stuff. But I mean, by the fact that the fellas are in the final, they've clearly done a pretty good job of managing that downtime. Yeah.
So are you organising like FIFA tournaments, COD tournaments?
Yeah, I'm that guy. I always bring my Xbox, and then start from there. I'll always bring the controllers. We always say it's a job for the youngest person in the team, and I'm the youngest person in the team, and I've been for the past Nations League, European Championships, World Cup. I've always been the youngest guy. So it's my job, but hopefully someone's going to come through and going to take that burden off me. That I've got to carry on this Xbox around airports, man, because it's a trek.
And you just your fingers crossed the next time we call someone up, we're going to be young, and you're like, come on, lads.
Like, because everyone's in their backpacks and like their luggages are just like quite light, whereas I'm carrying like a big Xbox X. Yeah. They're massive things, trying to get them in a luggage, and I'm like, I'm sweating my dish off trying to carry this because it is heavy. I've got all the wires, got your HDMIs, all your controllers. Like, I can't wait for someone to come along that's younger than me. I can't wait for it, mate. Proper.
So, how are the tournaments? Do you like seed your players and then you do like a round robin?
Yeah,
like,
no, we do.
How important? How in depth do you want to go?
I am the best player. I am the best FIFA player out of a lot of them, and they all know it. So at the recent European Championship, we tried to do a player and a staff member, but we ended up just seeding it, as in all the players that played FIFA or that we know can play FIFA, it'd be pot 1 players, and other ones that were like question marks that we don't know if they were good or we don't even know if they play were pot 2s. I was pot 1 and I got matched with our psychologist. What Ian, what a guy. He hadn't played FIFA since FIFA 09. And we had like 8 teams, and we said, right, we'll do a league format. Yeah. Everyone plays everyone once. If you finish top of the first night, like you play everyone, you get like 60 quid. No, it was like 40 quid.
Oh, so it's just money's in?
Yeah, money's in. You get 40 quid if you win it, and then you'll do the best 4 playing the semi-final. We got knocked out in the semi-finals, but we won the league, so we were happy. Honestly, it was scenes, because we had not expected from Ian, but Ian, what a blow.
He pulled up.
Yeah, honestly, he was a bit... I think he was telling lies. I think he can play.
He was just a little bit of a start. Yeah, putting himself down.
Exactly that. But I was happy with that. We were Portugal. We did the European Championships, and we always do it at major tournaments. You just start wagering money, and like it gets a bit ridiculous, because it's to a point where like if you're at a major tournament, you're not spending money. Yeah. So people just start throwing money on FIFA games and like betting on it, and like, I'll pump you at FIFA, fella, and then you'll get back to the hotel room, everyone will gather around and look at a game, and like we'll try and get a big projector and make it like a bit of an atmosphere for everyone.
I love that the staff are getting involved as well.
Yeah,
I love that the staff are
exactly that. I mean, like they try to be as close to your players as possible, because obviously you want to be like a full team, not just the players and the staff. So the staff definitely get involved in that sort of stuff, and they back themselves. They back themselves proper.
How do you play FIFA then?
So I play like that, which is kind of weird, because when people say like...
So you play like a core sort of?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of. So like I get like the right stick with that, and then the left side I can just move around like that.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
Like when people say like, "Oh, you can't be good at FIFA," like I always say like, if you lose to a guy with one hand at FIFA, uninstall. Like that's a bad job. But I'm a decent player. I'll take that. And like my mate,
You could send out to if you did a foot chance weekend, you could send out to all 20 people and just keep going over.
Exactly that. I'll be like, it's just a humbling experience if like you get beat like 3-1 in a rough game, getting sweated. And then a guy sends you a message saying, "I've got one hand and you just lost." You're feeling like, wow, I think that might be it for the weekend. I think that might be it. But that is an open challenge to anyone on this podcast who wants a game of FIFA. I'll beat you. I'll back in myself. I'm backing myself 100%.
What's your like foot champs record then?
I don't play foot champs. Don't play.
Oh, that's interesting.
I haven't played in a while because.
So I've got no idea how to judge you. I don't know if I'm better than you.
We play at weekends, obviously, with football, so I don't normally have the time. But I when I used to play, like before, like I had like didn't really have a weekend available. I was like a gold 2 player, gold 2, gold 1.
Okay,
that was my standard. But I know it's changed away from that. But I don't really play.
So that used to be my sort of standard.
Yeah, so like FIFA 21 sort of range. That was like when I could play every weekend.
Right, we're having a game.
I love that.
I play on PC though, so it's going to have to be cross, but that's fine. Not a problem at all.
But you'll have to live by it. If you get beat by a guy with one hand, it's going to have to be an uninstall. You can't look someone in the eyes and say,
"Oh, I'm not giving it a big one." You're the one. You're the one who's giving it.
I know.
I'm just happy. I'm happy to lose what they want. They want to see us on the game of FIFA. And I'm more than happy to deliver. Right. I can record it. And
that can soon be done. That can definitely be done. Yeah, we can arrange that after this.
But it's an open challenge. But I'll turn around.
Yeah, exactly. If anyone backs himself. We'll see how the first one goes, and if I get beaten that, then
you
can delete this bit.
Because I've got some mates who are very good.
Right, okay, then I won't speak to them. We won't speak to them.
I love that with the downtown and stuff as well. So you were talking about like all the walks and stuff. So do you plan like team walks or
so like we'll try like having like an itinerary of like your downtime, just to try like schedule it instead of just being sat in your room on your own, and like try to still be involved with the team, especially on like them days where like. You think you should have played better, or we could have done a better team performance. You don't want to be just in your room dwelling on it. So you want to try to get everyone involved. Like you'll always go for meals as a team. So you'll meet before it, and then you'll go down as a team. Like team walks and like stretching and like pool sessions. So you'll try to do everything as a team. You'll try to have a little bit of structure to that downtime instead of just being like locked in your room for like a fair few hours until bed. So they'll try and structure it to like try to be involved with everyone, especially like if you've maybe like had a bad game or something, like you're trying to get around people and like build your atmosphere a little bit, which is quite good being realistic, and they've definitely done that at the England camp, like Gareth Southgate's men, because especially when it's not going well, you want to get around everyone and get the atmosphere back up.
You need it, don't you?
Yeah,
because tournament football, it's not about the best team doesn't always win. It's case of
that's absolutely right, and like you'll see that even when you don't play well, to then go get a win, and you've seen that from the England team, and like if they go do it tonight, you can put it down to them sort of results that. Although everyone's expecting higher expectations, everyone's expecting them to roll teams over like Slovakia or Slovenia, but then they come out and still getting the win, which gives you more of a platform that even if it's not clicking, you're still in the tournament, you can still have more time, and hopefully tonight it all goes well.
Oh, I'm hoping so. I mean, people already know the result by now, but we'll both be watching it, and
yeah, I can't wait.
I just want to win.
Yeah, I know. It's been too many years of upset and Euro final losses and England underachieving. But this is a major one. This could be somewhat serious.
This could be the one, definitely. Yeah. And I wanted to talk a little bit about your time in sort of about being a professional now in your sport. So you are currently contracted to, and you just spent the last season at Legia Warszawa.
Legia Warszawa, in Poland.
In Poland.
Big team.
I mean, they're massive. I mean, City have played Legia Warszawa in the Champions League before now.
Yeah.
They are huge. Green.
Green outfield kit. Obviously, I don't get to wear that one. Even it's a cool kit. They have some decent kits. Them. I like the Polish kits. They do loads of sponsors on that, which I think is quite unique.
So it's like sponsors all the way down the arms.
Yeah, like all the way down the arms, on the back, like on the front, like centre crest. There's quite a few, to be fair. There's not as many on our kit as I've seen on some other kits, but it's something you don't really see in England. You maybe see like an arm sponsor, central shirt sponsor, and that's probably about it.
About it, yeah. And then you've got manufacturing.
Whereas in Poland, you've got loads.
Got one at the back.
Which is quite good, to be fair, because realistically, you've got loads and more sources of income. So fair play to them. It's a lot of travelling.
I was going to say, so do you have to like drive down to Manchester and fly from Manchester?
Yeah, drive from Manchester or Liverpool, depending on where my flight's from. They'll book that for me and sort all that, and then like you'll get picked up at the airport by like someone involved in the team, and pretty much get like chauffeured around, like meet the lads at the hotel to wherever we're playing, whether it's home or away. Obviously, the Polish language is hard. But I try pick up on.
Have you tried to just learn?
Yeah, like I've been learning. My teammates have not been helping. Like so, like if I try to say something, they'll just tell me not the right answer to something. Like, if I try to say a thank you, they'll just tell me something complete opposite. Like, I've been saying some rad stuff to people that I didn't even know what it meant, but I've been trying to say nice stuff and they just give me like something just like, oh, he's English, you won't have a clue. Good crack.
Because that's a question that I was going to ask you really, because obviously, like, do many of them speak English or
their English is better than my Polish. Like, they learn
Yeah.
English in schools.
Right,
So like
okay.
the young lads in the team have got good English, and there's quite a few lads like Max in our team. I speak to him. He's Polish, but he's got good English. And then like we've got like a translator that can translate a lot of our stuff. So like team talks and that, I can then get it like that. Or like, but the bad thing is, when they see a joke in Polish, and they all start laughing, my translator will translate like 3 seconds later, and then we'll start laughing.
So it's like you're like +1.
Yeah, you kind of like everyone's laughing, and then they kind of turn to us as if we're gonna laugh because we hear it like a couple of seconds later. It's like just like a lag pretty much in the room, and then like if they're all looking at you, even if you don't really understand the joke, you just start.
You kind of got it right. You just
Yeah,
like...
exactly that. But I'm trying to learn better, but normally it just goes in one ear, out the other.
Yeah. How many English lads playing in? Like,
We have 4 players that are English and 1 Spanish lad and the rest are Polish. But who knows after the season whether we're going to have more English lads, less English lads. But who knows?
I mean, you've got to, haven't you? It's, as you were saying, like abroad is where the professional game is at rather than in England.
Exactly. I mean, like, what's the point of us waiting my career to wait for England to catch up to Poland or Turkey or Italy, wherever, to catch up to their levels of funding? When obviously you want to look back at your career and think, yeah, I've done this, I've done that, and I don't want to wait around for it to England to catch up. I might as well go venture abroad and open my horizons to something new.
I don't blame you, especially. Well, a good job you've got Poland, not Turkey, though, because that Turkey would have been a nightmare travel.
That is warm over there, and I'd burn quite quickly. So Polish climate's all right. It gets very, very cold, but it gets very, very hot. So it's more like just an extreme England. But
what's it like playing league football over there? Then is it a structured league format, and then do you play in the normal stadiums, or is it like?
It depends. Some teams play at like the big stadiums. Like depends what club you're at. For example, Legia Warszawa, we've got when's our next home game? Honestly, I don't know off the top of my head, but I know that we've got a good facility. But there's some teams play at like different grounds. For example, there's a team called Wroetoshaw. They play at like their old grounds, so like the moved grounds.
Oh, nice.
Like the main team moved ground to like a new stadium, then they play at the old ground. So there's a lot of different like stadiums. There's good stadiums, better than England.
Yeah.
And like the whole setup's like really, really good. There's loads of people that come to the games and that, which is just a change for us compared to club footballers in England. So yeah, the Polish league system's really, really good. I'm a big fan.
So how many average sort of like attendances do you would get? Is it in the hundreds? Is it in the tens?
Honestly, it depends where it's at.
Yeah.
Where it's at, like if you're at like the smaller teams, for example, the team called Bielsko-Biala, which is in like the ages away, like the mountains in Poland, they won't get as many. So like when I played, that was my first game that I played, which was ages away, and I thought like, no, what have I signed myself up for? I flew myself to a Katowice airport, and I had to drive like 2.5 hours into the Polish mountains to play a game.
So then come back and go out again.
Yeah, exactly that. But then you've got teams like Wisla Krakow. I've got loads of fans, and like they can pack out the stadiums and get like pyros and that. So it literally just depends where you go. Like the big teams will obviously have big fans, and then like the smaller teams obviously won't have too many fans.
Yeah, I'm gutted when I went to Krakow. We didn't get to see a game. There was one on a Friday night. We didn't end up going. I was so gutted.
Yeah, that atmosphere is crazy. Like
mental, aren't they?
They can chant and scream for a full game. Like you would have seen the Legia Warsaw, like when they played in was it Conference League? I think
the big tifo that we did.
Like the tifo, like that's amazing. That's really, really good. And like I'm proud to say, like that's my team pretty much. So yeah, the fans are amazing in Poland. So respect where respect's due.
We have a little joke in our like City group chat about, because we had a tifo against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And the people who get behind it, they're volunteers. Like fair enough, they gave it a good go, but it was just a bit shit compared to the rest of Europe.
The standards are like, they put a lot of thing into it. Like for example, Newcastle are good at tifos. Yeah, they're really, really good. Yeah. Whereas some teams, you think, just don't even bother, fellas. Just do what looks good for you, but don't bring it to everyone else, because it's going to set a pretty shite standard.
Exactly, especially when you're looking at teams like in Poland, especially.
Yeah,
like some of them are just like a joke.
Yeah, no, like some of it's their job, like graphic design to like.
And they go across like the full stand as well.
Exactly that. I mean, like it's like their supporters clubs that are like, yeah, we want to be the best in Poland for this. We want to be the best in Europe for this. And I mean, quite an intimidating thing when you come into like Welcome to Hell. as like a T4.
You're like, Jesus,
like,
I've just come from Carlisle.
What am I signing myself up for here? But yeah, it's good over there. The fans are very, very good.
So do you have? Is there a lot of English players spread across the league then? Obviously, you've got 4 in your league.
Yeah, we've got 4 in our team. Obviously, Burbs and Jamie Oakey are at Water Poznan, and there's 2 other English lads at Krakow, and 2 other English lads at a team called Stal Ritznau.
That's great though, that you're all sort of spreading out
Yeah,
and
like
taking note of the English game.
It was me and Jamie Trigaskis that were like the first to do it.
So did he play at Pompey with you as well?
Yeah, we were there. We signed for Legia, and then like it exploded. So like we had like Reese and Biscuits signed with us at Legia like a couple of days later, and then like Burbs went and signed. Then 2 other lads went and signed, and then another lad went and signed. So it's kind of like exploded. Like as soon as the Polish realised the English were available on the market for like us going, it kind of just went.
That's what you want, though, isn't it?
Exactly.
Definitely.
It's more football at the end of the day. For our national team, it's really, really good. We're playing against players who are going to play at the national level. Obviously, we're maybe not playing all of us playing together, but it gives us more experience to play against these some players that will play on the national level. So when some of us that might not be starters step into that national level, we're already up to the standard. We already know what we're coming up against. So as a development side of things, it's going to be really, really good.
And do any of them venture over to Turkey as well? I know Turkey's a lot further than Poland, but...
As of yet, no one's done it. I don't know whether that's because Turkey aren't a fan of us.
I mean, you've got to think about the journey. It's 4-hour flight.
Yeah,
exactly. 4-hour flight there, 4-hour flight, and then you need to play the game.
Yeah,
right?
it's crazy to be fair.
Yeah.
And then the contract they offer is like full time, as in like you're being there all the time. Whereas obviously in Poland, like you're just flying across. Yeah. So no one's yet to do it. I'm not saying it's not going to be done by someone English. Might be done by me. Who knows?
I reckon it'll be done one day.
But who knows? But it hasn't been done yet. So Poland's furthest abroad. The English are going at the moment.
Is it the same in Turkey as sort of like Poland and England? Then are they tied to the same? So you have like Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, right?
Quite a few of them. There's like teams like Trabzonspor and like teams like that. But I think there's a lot of teams that just like set up for amputee football because the money's that good that they can do that, which is really good. Like they make like purpose-built stadiums for amputee football, and like the whole setup there. They've got like 3 divisions over there,
different level
like
in
full
it.
Professional football, which is like honestly respect.
Yeah,
it's some setup they've got over there.
What is it? What? How does it work? Because I didn't discuss this with him because we focus only on Europe. But what's it like worldwide? Is it not as big in certain other countries?
No, it's really, really big across the world. It's constantly growing. Africa's really, really good because you imagine they can't afford prosthetic legs.
Of course, yeah. So they're used to playing on crutches.
They're always on crutches. Whether they're running, they're already running on crutches. So they get amputee football from the lowest level, and like obviously if they build it up for like even just playing football, they've already got like the physiques, they've already got the speed, so they're really, really good. We tend to not be at their level physically, but like tactically we're a lot better than them sort of teams. Because due to our coaching, due to like us like playing like professionally like so well. Whereas like in South America, it's really, really good standard. The South Americans are very, very similar to the South Americans that play like
a lot of flair, a lot of tricks,
a lot of flair, a bit of like your nitty gritty, like you're spitting at people and like that sort of stuff. So you don't like playing them sort of team. Like
England are playing long ball.
Like
get a throw in, they'll lump it into the box.
There's not many teams like I hate amputee football, but Argentina, I hate them. Proper. We played them at the World Cup and like they're horrible. Like constantly like moaning in your ear, rolling around to the referee.
Side of the
like,
game well.
I hate that stuff, man. Like if I always say, right, if my like family was watching, my girlfriend or whatever was watching the game and I'm rolling around on the floor after being like slightly tickled, and I'm rolling around on the floor. As a man, you're feeling like, what am I doing here? Like, honestly, that's what I say. It's embarrassing to be going down like that, but like they like that's all they do, and like they like shouting and screaming from the bench for fouls and just get over yourselves, man. Get over. It does my head in, like.
I don't blame you. I'd be fuming.
Especially when they get it. When they do it and they don't get it, you can just laugh at them because they've just made a tit of themselves on television. But when they do get it, that does my tits in, and I'll just try to keep my cool. Like I've got better at it from like just keeping my head and thinking like, realistically, because I don't moan to the referee. I say quality over quantity. I'd rather not be in his ear the whole time. But when I'm in his ear, it's for a good reason.
It's for a good reason. Yeah, so they know to listen to you.
So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, fella, you did not even get touched there, but you've went down screaming as if you've been shot and you've lost your other leg. But they get given it sometimes, and you just got to get on with it and not lose your head. Because if you lose your head at the top level of football, then you might as well be subbed off because your head's going to be gone for the next 5 minutes.
Exactly, you can't come back from that. Definitely not. Well, should we have a little break? And then I want to dive in second part more into your world, into media, really. Obviously, your world of YouTube and the millions and millions of views that you've got in the past.
Yeah, that's great.
Excellent. See you in part 2. Welcome back to part 2, little break, and we are going to dive straight back into it. So we were discussing a little bit on the break there about the shift into online sort of content creation, haven't we? Because obviously Burbs does a lot of TikToks, and you have done a few YouTube videos, a few podcasts yourself, haven't you? I've
been involved. I've never approached to be involved in something. I've never made content myself. It's always been made it on someone else's channel or for someone else or appeared on someone else's podcast, stuff like that. But it's going to be a world I'm going to explore now. Like I said, at the end of the season, I want to give it a push. And I'm at the end of the season, I want to give it a push because I've enjoyed the podcasts and YouTube videos and TikToks. I've enjoyed that side of things. And whenever I get the chance to appear on Burbs' channel, I will. Or I've done Chris MD, I've done the F2, I've done Kieran Brown, a lot of big names. But I've never launched my own stuff off of it. Okay, I've pushed some TikToks out there, but I've never been a sole content creator. It's just been me feature on someone else's channel. But I'm gonna explore that world now of being me in my videos, which is gonna be something new to me. But we'll see where it goes.
It's exciting, isn't it? It is. You learn every day. Yeah, it's mental because this isn't my most professional sort of setup, but it's a setup that works for me. I know how it works, and
absolutely.
It's literally a case of I've been doing it for 2 years. And if I watch some of that old stuff, I was having a look through my old channel the other day, looking at my thumbnails.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're shite.
Yeah,
just shit. And I'm like, how did I think this was good and acceptable?
But at the time, you're gonna think that was a good standard.
Yeah, I was like, it's fucking minute.
It's just about gradually getting better. At a point, you'll feel right, this doesn't work, or this sort of thumbnail isn't appealing to what people are going to see for half a second when they're scrolling. So it's just going to be about that world of constantly getting better and constantly with a change in algorithm. It's going to be a bit of to and fro and trial and error and see what works.
But now I'm it's mental. I'm looking back and I'm did I think that was good?
Yeah.
And now we're looking at it, it's mental. But you're most famous, aren't you, for your appearance in the Chris MD's video, which is a great video.
Yeah, honestly, I was dead proud of that video. His editing's unbelievable, and the team that he's got's crazy because they put that video together really, really well. But the whole video is really, really good. Them fellas are so normal. They are normal. When I arrived there fairly late as well. And then Chris went over speaking to him. It's all right, we've got Harry and Ethan here. And they went over introduced me to them. I'm I've watched these fellas.
I know you are.
I've watched these fellas since I was a little kid. I grew up watching the Sidemen, but that was a surreal experience. As soon as the cameras were off, they're the exact same. They weren't just not bothered. They were filming for my account. I was having loads of conversations with people about stuff off camera, family and Ethan's kid and Harry, how he's working. I was chatting to him loads, just completely off camera. I don't know if he'll come on Chris's second channel, but it was just constantly just chatting about stuff that wasn't in the video, which just showed he was a genuine bloke. He wasn't just there for filming and he was going to forget about it. He still follows on Instagram and that, and genuine, even though the scene is these top up echelon celebrities, they're such normal people, and you can tell they haven't came from a background of thinking they were top class. They're such normal people, and they're so relatable to anyone, even though you can see them as okay, they've earned a lot of money or they've got a lot of followers, but they're so relatable to your average person. It's so
good to see it as a fan as well, because obviously we watched them from the start.
Yeah.
You never knew, you dream, well, you kind of hope that they're going to be sound, but whenever you meet them in person, you're always I've not met anyone on here who's been a dick.
Yeah, exactly that. And
Which is mad, isn't it, when you think about it?
Yeah, you see all these people and you're seeing they're always on your telly and all that. You're thinking you hold them to a higher regard, but these are just normal lads. These are lads that grew up in Jersey or Guernsey or
came
whatever.
From nowhere.
Exactly that.
And just entertaining. That's all they are, just entertaining.
They're just normal people that have got a platform, and that's what they are. But the content's great. They're really, really good people, and they deserve the platform they've got.
Of course. How did it come about filming with Chris MD then? Did he reach out to you?
That was a funny one. Yeah. So I get loads of random messages on Instagram, message requests and everything goes through my Instagram basically, 'cause it's my only like platform where I post regularly.
Yeah.
So I got I don't check my message requests very often. I maybe try to check it like every 2 weeks, and then I went on it and I saw like a blue tick mark, like as a message request, and that doesn't mean anything nowadays. It said Chris MD, and I'm like blue tick. I'm like whoa, and then it was like a big thing of like saying who he is and like what videos he does, and I'm like, I know fine well who you are. I know
Chris MD,
like exactly that. And then like he spoke about his video with Aaron Ramsdale. He wanted to do like a similar thing, and that message request was sitting there for quite a while. I think maybe like a week or so, and I was like, I'm
shit.
Yeah, I was like I was on it straight away. Like, yeah, interested. Here's my phone number. Let's have a chat and like see where it goes. And then it all went from there. And like they were very easy to work with. Like they were like paying for my stuff, like trying to get down there, or like I think even at the end of it, like I was having a nightmare getting back on train. It's like, oh, don't worry, we'll put you in a hotel. It's not a problem. So like the whole setup they've got there, and getting approached for Instagram to messing with Chris MD, it's crazy.
That's mad. I wonder how he found you then. Do you reckon he just...
It was through my video with Kieran Brown.
Okay, yeah.
And I did that a while back, like a long while back, maybe 3 years ago. I did a video of him, which was like my first experience on YouTube, and he was like a big guy at the time, because I grew up watching him as well, and he still posts regularly. He's got good content. He's a unique content, and I like that. So I did a video of him. They found it from that, I believe. So I'm not quite sure, to be honest. But they spoke about that at the time. So and that was my break into the YouTube world, and obviously getting coming from there was really, really good, because I think that video's got like, I don't really know how many views, maybe like 2.5 million, which is crazy.
Crazy when you think about it. Like you can't. That's like size of countries.
Yeah, exactly that. And I mean, like I've done quite a few videos filmed with the F2. Well, Billy Wingrove, a fair few years back, and that was a surreal experience. He's another bloke that. Wow, what a fan.
I like Billy Wingrove.
Yeah,
I really love seeing him. I love seeing him on mainstream media now. Do you know when you see him on like Soccer Aid and stuff? I'm like, he's one of our boys who's made it there.
Proper is, and like he still follows me now. He still sends happy birthdays, and like if I ever need anything, like you can message him. He's a proper genuine bloke, which is another person that's like really, really good, because he's been in the like spotlight for a while.
Ages,
so it'd be very understandable if he like from disconnected from where he was, and like disconnected from the people that are coming up, but he's very much a really, really good person.
Got a good left foot, hasn't he?
He can play football.
He's got a wonder left foot.
He can play football, that guy, proper. And you can see it in videos that he does, because he's got a wonderful left foot. He
nails it, and you're looking at it like, even if, like, I know people always say, oh yeah, it took you like 100 attempts to do that. I don't care. To do that in 100, I couldn't do that.
Some of them he doesn't. Like, he doesn't take that many attempts. Like, we in our video, when we were filming, they were trying to get a shot of Jamie Oakey doing like a bicycle kick versus us, and it took a lot of attempts, but it didn't take a lot of attempts because Billy Wingrove couldn't do it. It took a lot of attempts because either I was saving it or Jamie Oakey could not put the ball on target. So like he I don't think it actually takes too many attempts. Like, and you'll see a lot of stuff. You might know a guy called Declan McCarthy. Like, he's involved with One Glove, and like he's a good bloke, to be fair. He's got a lot of followers. But when he does shots, like we did one for an advert that's getting released very, very soon, and it looks a crazy clip. You're thinking like, that would have took you like 1,000 attempts. He did it in like 3 minutes. Like,
it's crazy, isn't it?
Like, if you look at the standard of some of these fellas, you'll think like, yeah, I don't know about this. It must be an editing job, but like people like Billy Wingrove or like Declan or whatever, at that high standard, they can just do this sort of stuff in not many takes at all.
It's scary as well. 'Cause I always, when I'm watching these people, I'm always like my brain probably works the same as you. I can see what you're seeing and how to do it. But why can't I strike a footy like you? I play football as long as you have. Why can't I hit it like you? Does my nut in.
Yeah, I know. Like, you look at some people and like, my mate said to me, like, I say, like, when I go outfield and I back myself outfield, and when I take a shot, every single shot I take is a goal kick. As in, like, I'm just going to hit it as hard as I can. The ball doesn't move. There's no curve. There's no knuckleballs, no whatever. But I can hit a ball just like a goal kick. And then my mates are like, fella, you don't even have a wind up, but like you just absolutely thundercut in this ball. Yeah. And what's that all about? Like, I look at some of their techniques and I'm like, I couldn't do that. I've played football for maybe like 15 years, and I could not hit a ball like that. Like the way they're moving it or the curvature on it. But like everyone specialises in their own little thing. Whether some people like might be like a dead ball specialist, or some people like might be like a fast or finishing. Like, some people are your little quirks that some people are really good at. But obviously, if you're at the top level, you can have all of them in your locker. For example, like Cole Palmer got everything in his locker.
He's a joke. He's a joke to play. But even like non-league players, They are far and away above
I was amazed by the standard of non-league personally. I've trained with quite a few players. There's a really, really good player at Carlisle City called Kieran Brown, and I train with him a lot. And he can play like, I thought non-league was just above grassroots, so people that just take it a bit more seriously.
Nice joke.
But that standard of stuff is like, I think to really understand it and understand non-league, you've got to know them and watch that football, because they're not just your average Joe and you think of like, oh, these fellas can't even string a pass together, but like it's a good standard, and people that don't watch it won't understand it.
Especially that, like, even because I like all the how many goals would you score if you played in Man City's team? 0. And then he's like, what if you're on penalties? Still 0. Like, I would never ever score past Everton. Never. I just can't strike a football. And even like non-league players, they probably wouldn't score, or if they'd score 1 or 2, and they are 10 times players. I remember when Josh Wind asked it, he was on pitch side, and he got asked that question, and because Ollie Palmer said it when he was in National League, and he was like, oh, I'll score like 15 goals, and Josh Reynolds was like, mate, I'm 10 times better than you, and I wouldn't score 10 goals. What's he talking about?
The talk about like the main person to speak about is Erling Haaland. Say Erling Haaland, he just scores tap-ins. But the thing is, the build up before it, then to move into that position to get the tap-in, or have the whole respect to like the people have got to mark you, which then frees up space for someone else. So the whole idea, obviously, any person can score a penalty. At the end of the day, it's a bit of luck, bit of percentages, but at the end of the day, it's just a penalty. 12 yards, one-on-one. It's a closed environment, it's just that. So maybe you might get a couple. But at the end of the day, your average person isn't going to get in positions that are going to get into, isn't going to be in the position to score them tap-ins. Okay, if you make the perfect scenario where you're just going to start there and no one's going to mark you, and Phil Foden's going to put the ball on the plate. Okay, anyone can do that. I've got a nephew that could do that.
Of course,
But it's the movement to get in that position and like be on the pitch for them 90 minutes to do that sort of stuff. So people that are waffling like an average Joe down the pub saying, I'd score 15 goals for City, you are waffling. Absolute waffle.
We went to Madrid. There's a very big City content creator as well called Humour. Shout out Humour. He's such a good lad. He's an Irish lad, and he was waffling about scoring 10 goals if he played for City.
He's a waffler then. Absolute waffler.
It was. So we were in a hostel, all of us in there. We're majority was the City content creators as well. And like, we were arguing at 3 a.m. And at one point, I literally just opened like the curtain and I was like, "You're chatting shit to you. There's no way you're scoring 10 goals." I'm there trying to go to sleep and he's there waffling. And I love him. He's such a good lad to you. But I was like, no way you're scoring.
I'd love to see any player, any person that backs that goal, just one-on-one versus either a goalkeeper or a defender.
Exactly.
Just go one-on-one. Just see how that goes for you. If, for example, you get, say, any defender, let me think of for example, Mark Gahey. Go one-on-one versus Mark Gahey 20 times and let me know if you get a shot off.
Even one,
And even to get the shot and put it on, like, near the goal, I'd be impressed. Because even these fellas are out, they don't understand.
Like, if for example, like Fraser Horsall, who plays centre-half for Stockport County, I wouldn't get one shot off in 50 attempts against him. How far below is he?
The standard's crazy. Like, people think that they're so detached from like the way it is from like when they play like grassroots to then like, oh, if I rip someone off at grassroots, I could probably do a job against someone. But you're completely wrong. You're way off. You've got way off.
No chance at all.
To the fella that thinks he's got 10 for City, you are waffling as well. I'm not buying that.
Do you still play mainstream football as well? Because you used to play it quite
whenever
a bit,
I could. Like as a kid, like I would play, but then obviously my commitments took over with England and like Portsmouth and Newcastle. So like I enjoy it. Like whenever I can, I'll play grassroots, and whenever I can play. Like,
always outfield as well.
Like play football. Yeah, man. Any goalkeeper will get outfield for a drill if they get a chance to. They'll do it. And I've been trying to find a way to play outfield in like charity games. That's the only way to go. Because obviously I've got a pro contract, so I can't exactly go sign for like your local grassroots team, which is a bit wounding. But obviously, whenever there's a charity game, I want to go outfield. I want to be a striker. I want to play where... Actually, no, I don't even care about the striker. I'll go anywhere as long as it's not in my net. I'll go anywhere. But any keeper will back himself outfield.
You've got it, right? Yeah.
Exactly that. Like,
it's part of fun, isn't it?
Your whole job's going in net. So, like, as soon as you get the chance to, in a non-serious environment, to go outfield, you're going to take it. And, like, you'll see some of these fellas put shots upon shots wide. And then you're like, right, I'll just give you one demo. And then we'll go back to it. And then you can take a shot. It's like, okay, right, maybe you're a decent player. Doesn't matter, fella. Doesn't matter. Maybe it's just that hard.
These charity games are fun nowadays, though, because there's so many popping up. You're playing in one soon, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm playing one with, it is the Kick a Bot for Cancer charity match.
Nice.
Put some quite big names in there. It's in Stoke, which isn't like too far away from here, really.
No, it's not far at all.
So yeah, some big names in that, and I'm going to venture outfield.
You've got him. I mean, Liam's a manager. What are you going to do?
I'm down as an assistant manager, and Burbs is a manager. But I think we're going to go in suits, and I'm just going to have my kit underneath. I've got number 2 on the back for my kit, just for the amount of limbs I've got. I'm excited.
Some huge people playing that. I've got Still Ryan that I saw in there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've been approached for some charity games before, but like it falls during football season.
So you can't play.
As much as it'd be great for content, great for like meeting new people and meeting some of the people that I watch on like TikTok, whatever. Like my season normally on that obviously next regular. That's my job. But it's the end of the season now. My season finished early, like the European was early in the summer, so I've got a lot of spare time now. So if anyone's a charity game, I'm already gonna be there for it.
Game.
I love that, man. Get me involved.
So another question as well, because I've interviewed quite a few of like both professional and semi-pro footballers in the mainstream game, and I love talking to them about the world of betting, because a lot of them can't bet even if they are. Like, I interviewed Harry Bunn, who plays for Hyde United, used to play for City. He can't bet now, and he plays like semi-pro and stuff like that. How does it work with you then? Because obviously you're not in the mainstream game.
Yeah, so you can bet on amputee football. There's normally like a Polish site that like mainly in Poland. In England you can't bet on it because there's no platforms to support it. But in Poland there is. Obviously we aren't allowed to bet on our own games. And then if you do, like, you're obviously going to get sanctions against you, which you don't really want to explore. Players look at it, like players look at your odds to win a game. Sometimes definitely going into games blind, it gives you a little bit more insight. For example, when we played Netherlands at the European Championships, we hadn't played Netherlands before for like many years, so we really didn't know what we were going to come up against. So we had like a scan of the betting odds, and like we would like far favourites to go like 7-1 to win, like 1-7 to win. So like we were dead like far favourites, which doesn't then make you go into the game thinking.
But it gives you a scope of where you're at.
It gives you an idea of what their ability is, like what their standard is. So you don't use it as I definitely don't use it as a platform to like bet on my own games or whatever. I don't mind a bet on like when I can bet.
Are you allowed to bet on mainstream football?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely, because we're not technically FA affiliated, so we're not into that sort of thing. So you can bet on the games. Like I'll happily fire in some money on England to win tonight. I'll happily fire like a player bet. And I like I enjoy it. It makes the game a little bit more interesting. You don't want to get too heavily involved in it, like, but definitely my side of things and like my games. Obviously, there's a side of the world that you can't really look at.
So that's bad, that, because you are going to become FA affiliated soon. I certainly believe that is a fact.
Yeah.
That means you're going to have to stop. You will have to stop betting, I bet.
Yeah, I mean,
which is mental, isn't it? Because you've got no influence on the mainstream world at all. You don't know any of the players.
Exactly,
you don't know anything.
Exactly that. Like, well, I know quite a lot of like the goalies and that, like involved with that. We have like young lads as well, especially like, just watch content. I know them from that, so I'm not really texting about the games and stuff like that, because we're all professionals at the end of the day. Whether I'm betting on my game or I'm betting on their game, no one does that. Like you've got your certain line, and everyone knows what's acceptable, and you'll get that from the very like lowest of youth academies. To understand like they'll build you through like the atmosphere towards betting and the way you've got to approach it when people speak about it or whatever.
It's a different world now, isn't it, nowadays?
And that'll be built from a very, very young age. And there is people that have got addictions, and like, for example, I believe Sandra Tonali has like an addiction to gambling, and like you can get that, and like that's totally natural, and like obviously anyone's gonna have that at some point, but they try and put you against it as much as they can.
You've got to, haven't you?
Yeah, it's a sad world realistically.
Yeah.
Like especially when you see, for example, like someone like Sandro Tonali.
Yeah, Ivan Toney as well.
Yeah, exactly that. Like Sandro Tonali got done for betting in Italy, so he clearly understands it's not all right, and they do it in England as well. And that's not him being like, oh, I'm just going to do it and hope they won't find out. But that's clearly it's in part of his life. It's part of what he does, because if he knows he's still consequence and he's still doing it, it's something in his head, because he's professional. Well, he gets paid. People always say, oh, he gets paid millions of pounds per year, whatever, and he's still gambling. But it's part of like his head. It's like his regiment. He might do it when he's young, and like it's not just a.
You have no idea, do you? You've got absolutely no idea of what's going on in their mindset as well. Being from Carlisle, then.
Yeah.
Do you have an affiliation to like Newcastle, or is it just are you? Because I know you said off camera that you are a Wigan supporter. Because
I'm a Wigan fan. You always take your dad's team, don't you?
Yeah.
Or like your family's team, and like I'm a Wigan fan, unfortunately. But no. I think like at Carlisle, I'll go to Carlisle games like when I can. I've had an affiliation to the club for like working with them, like their academy or like the community sports trust. So I've been involved there, and I go to the games with my mates because they're Carlisle fans.
Of course,
obviously I'm not a fan. Like I want to see them do well. I want to see them succeed. It's better for the town.
We're not your main
people,
team, yeah.
But like I know quite a few of the players, so like I want to see them do well. But it's not like the end of the world if they don't. I'm a Wigan fan. I support Wigan. Newcastle's the closest Premier League team, so once again I want to see them do well. I'm not a Newcastle fan, but at the end of the day, because it's the closest team up north, like northern people got to stick together. You want to see them do well.
Yeah. You keep an eye out, don't you?
Yeah, exactly
you keep
that.
An eye out.
Like when they got the Champions League, like fair play, it's really good. And like the closest night out would probably be Newcastle. Like good night out would be Newcastle. So that'd be the sort of place that you want to see them do well, but. There's no tears shed if they don't do well. Like no tears shed.
Yeah, you couldn't care.
Yeah, exactly
I'm the same round here. So one of my good mates supports Oldham. So on a Saturday, I always check how they do.
Yeah.
Like Stockport County, my work actually sponsor them, and so I get to go to a couple of games a year. And it's nice to appreciate real football.
Yeah, exactly that.
I'm a City season ticket holder, and it's just a bit.
Yeah, so you can feel a bit disconnected, can't you?
Yeah.
As in like, especially towards like amputee football, you can know players at like a very close level.
Yeah.
Like even like people that text me on Instagram, like I can get back to them. I can get back to every single one of them. Or like whatever, like approach me in the street, send me emails. I can approach them. I can speak to them. Whereas like you can't do that.
No, you can't.
So like
it's different levels.
Especially even in like non-league or like even like League Two, you can speak to players on like a normal level because they don't see themselves as celebrities. They don't see themselves as like this big deal. But if you try to text like Julian Alvarez on Instagram, you're not going to get a reply.
It's not going to happen.
So I think some people like it. Obviously, if you're a fan, you support them their whole life. You're going to be a fan no matter who's playing for you. But then some people like the fact that okay, I'm going to watch you play, but I can also speak to you after the game and like you're a normal person, which is really good because it's then being on the same level instead of just being like kind of like the talent that you can see on the telly, but nowhere else. You can be that person that you see on the telly and your friend at the same time. So it's just probably a disconnect between the world of like top level and like your League Two, League Ones, amputee footballs. Yeah,
that's why I'm a massive advocate for support your local team. I support City just because my dad supported City.
Yeah, exactly.
My dad followed him in the 80s, my dad followed him in the 90s, and I've just followed suit, and I've just got lucky they've got good.
Yeah, exactly.
If we were still, I don't know, like Newcastle position when they were down and up, I'd still have a season ticket and be there.
Yeah, exactly that. Like I don't exactly live near Wigan anymore, but I've still got a season ticket, still go to as many of the games. Like when Wigan were going down, I was still a Wigan fan.
Exactly.
I'm not a Carlisle fan at the end of the day, even though it'd be easy to switch. You support your club for whether it's good or bad, and obviously you've had a bit of success with City. They got good in like 2009ish, 2008. They got
took
really
over
good.
In 2008.
And then, but obviously, like Wigan have been the opposite. We started won the FA Cup versus City in like 2013, but then we went down ever since then. But
still stick by now.
You stick by your team, whatever it is. And unfortunately, we're in that bad times at the moment. But we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, you never know, do you? Because football is just a very fluid motion sport. Everyone peaks and troughs. We're going to become shit one day. Yeah, when Pep leaves, we're going to go down.
It's likely. I mean, like you don't know what that stand is. Some people have got like a very high ceiling, very low floor of where they're going to be. Whereas Wigan are quite a young team. We're going to be good. We've got quite a few good players. We've got players like Sam Tickle, plays in England 21s, and he's already like at Wigan. You think like, what's going on here?
It's fun, innit? Yeah.
It's a very exciting time to be looking at some of these clubs that are like putting a lot of trust in their academies and like all these youth players coming through, and you're like, there's something serious going on, and then like your teams like Man City are going to get them players eventually from Wigan and stuff like that, which is good to see. To be fair, nice to see them players from like your League One, League Two is going and playing in the Premier League.
I mean, look at Ollie Watkins.
Exactly that. He was playing at Western Supermare.
It's mental, isn't it?
And then he went and scored that goal for England. That goal, like get that man a statue.
And everyone's there. Everyone was saying get him on there, and he's just from non-league.
Exactly that. Like the best that England have looked across tournaments when Ollie Watkins was on the pitch.
Yeah.
Like
which is amazing to look at.
I respect the job that Harry Kane does, but he probably hasn't. I hate slandering players because like I hate getting slandered myself when I don't do well.
Yeah.
But he'll admit it himself. Like any player's their number one fan and number one critic. I say that about myself now. Like I'll always back myself when I know I'm doing good. Like if someone says I've done good, I know it first. But if someone says you've done bad, you know it first as well. You don't need someone to say it. So I think most people have been in the same position. I think Harry Kane will know that he hasn't been the best this tournament. He hasn't been the best tactically or hasn't been the best in front of goal, whatever. But Ollie Watkins, when he's got his chance to shine, he's shined.
Spectacular, isn't it?
Exactly that.
So good.
He's been on for maybe like across the whole tournament, maybe about half an hour.
It's a joke, isn't it?
The guy's performed. You've got given your platform, and what my God, he's took his chance.
And you've got him,
and he's going to do it tonight as well.
I can't wait for him to score the winner tonight.
He's going to do
then
it
we'll
tonight.
get back to this clip. We'll
gonna
clip
do
it
it
all up
tonight.
and TikTok all over.
Exactly that. Exactly that.
I wanted to end on a few sort of like quick fire questions as well, or sort of just more like sort of clickbaity, quick TikTok questions. But there was one that got asked in, and it really interested me. And it was a question about if you could build your dream five-a-side from amputee football.
Yeah.
Who would it be? Would this, if you want to, you don't have to choose one nation, one play if you don't want to.
Okay. No, I'll give
but
it a go.
If you can spread it out as much. We'll have you in goal, obviously.
The best in the world in net, no problem. So me from England. In amputee football, there's quite a few nations are big, and like you'll know them, like your Spain's, your Poland's, your Brazil's, your Morocco's, like some big teams you know, but some other nations are really, really good that you won't really know. So in defence, I'd have a lad that I'm quite good mates with called Christian Kaplan. Really good player, he plays in Poland with him. He's a Polish player, really, really good player. On the right, I'm just good players. In five-side, you don't have formation.
Yeah.
And you can play anywhere.
Just play wherever you want.
In five-side, you'll play anywhere.
Roam.
Then a person that I'd probably say is the second best in the world, Ömer Güleres. He's a Turkish player, really, really good, can move like incredibly well. He's not the best in the world though, but I can't put the best in the world in the team because he plays for England. He's like called Jamie Trigaskis. What a player. Then I'll have.
By the way, if you don't know who Jamie is, just have a look at his highlight reel.
He's a City fan. Like
it's a joke.
Yeah, he was in City's academy, then he lost his leg. And J-Bomb's a joke. If I could get J-Bomb in this team, I would put him in this team.
I remember Jamie coming onto the pitch once at City, and they told his story, and everyone was like, "This is mental." And I remember him coming onto the pitch, and mate, some of the things he can do with them crutches, you're like,
J-Bomb's a joke. Like he's a joke. I always say he's the best player in the world. Like I've had the honour to play with him at every level.
Yeah.
I play with him at England. I play with him at Portsmouth. I play with him at Legia. Like we play with each other. Like that sounds a bit dodgy. We play. We always play. And it's an honour because he understands what I do. I understand what he does.
Exactly.
I'm his captain now, and like he enjoys that environment and what a player he is. But he's not getting my five-a-side team because I'm in it. I'm in net. Christian's in defence. Ömer Güleres. A lad called David Mendes. Wow, the fastest person in amputee football. What a joke.
He's Spanish?
Spanish player. Yeah, he scored past me, made it 2-1. So I didn't appreciate that. Then I'll finish it at striker with a Moroccan player called Mochin. Really, really good. Can do everything with a football. So yeah, I've got a Moroccan, Spanish, Turkish, Polish, English, and that team would do anything.
That team would win a lot.
That team would beat a professional team of two-leggers because that is a team. They'll do a job.
Interesting that, because have you ever tried that idea of maybe having like a five-a-side game? 'Cause obviously you play in the small goals.
Yeah. It's never been done versus people at top level. Like you played against like staff and like people that come in to just play games, and I've done it. Like we win, but like it's never been like a true tested environment. Whereas if you play your staff, you're playing like a bunch of like 40-year-olds or like people that retired footballers, whatever, that can't play and they know they can't play. But I'd like to see what happens if you put the best team in like amputee football versus like. Realistically, these players aren't going to beat the best players in the world like mainstream because they've got 2 legs at the end of the day. But you'd attack it a different way. For example, if you've got someone with crutches, you're not going to tackle them the same way that someone's got 2 legs because they can move my body in different ways. Obviously, you can block off a bigger area with crutches. So it'd be an interesting watch being realistic. I'd like to see if like a five-a-side game.
Be interesting, wouldn't it? Like even just like, say like the good YouTube footballers, like a Chris MD, Theo Baker, them sort of players coming up, seeing how it would... Even like Billy Wingrove, I just think it'd be interesting to see how it works.
It's an opportunity. If anyone on YouTube backs himself to against the best players in England, give me a text on Instagram and we'll arrange it soon, quick, really, really quick.
Definitely. And then stadiums wise, you play in a lot of stadiums.
Yeah.
What has been like at the peak of your?
I get this question all the time, and I always say
would
I don't know.
Would it be at Euros? Would it be at club level? Because
I'm not sure because I base it on different things, whether it's the atmosphere or like the general size or like how famous the stadium is. I always like to say on the atmosphere because you could have a pitch anywhere, but like it's what makes it like a game.
What really highlights to you is like the 1 or 2 games that you've been like.
We recently played in the European Championships, obviously, and we played France, which is they were the hosts.
Yeah.
And like the crowd at that was great. Like, they were whistling every time we had the ball. They were hating us. Like they were like shouting at us and like giving it large when we walk up the pitch. I'd like it. Like I respect like good fans, and like they were having good fans there. Whereas like in Poland when we played at Legia Warszawa, like they had pyros going off at like 12 o'clock in the morning for the early kickoff, and I'm like, what's going on here? Like, what have I signed myself up for? But I think it's just what you really prefer. Like, I don't care about playing like a massive stadium because like pressure's for tyres. I don't care. Like Alan Shearer quote, love that. Like, so whether it's a stadium full of like 45,000 people of just watching the game, or whether it's like 3,000 fans hounding you all game, I prefer the other one because that's a game. That's not
proper footy,
that's not spectators. That's fans, and that's what I prefer. So I've played in good stadiums where it's like Hoffenheim and like stuff like that, and like stadiums in like Ireland and England, but the ones with major fans are normally the ones with like smaller stadiums that are better fans, so I prefer them sort of stadiums.
Massively, yeah. I think I would agree with you as well if I was ever in that position, because you want you feel the crowd, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Like you feel the energy, like especially like late in a game. Like I remember in the Nations League when we were playing Turkey, and like the whole stadium was tense. Like no one knew what's happening because we beat Turkey for the first time since in open play since 2014. We were the first team to keep clean sheet against them 2018. That's why I'm a Nations League winner. Has Golden Glove on the back, which is an honour as well. But like the whole stadium didn't know what to do. It was tense. Like everyone got to a point where they were supporting England. Yeah, it was in Poland, but everyone supported England because they weren't expecting.
Everyone loves an underdog story, don't
exactly that. It was very much an underdog story, and it was amazing. People like amazed to see what's happening in front of their eyes, and everything was being celebrated. Like I love that. Like every tackle was celebrated, every shot was celebrated, every save was celebrated. It was like love that game.
It's class, isn't it?
You saw it at Newcastle when they played PSG.
Yeah.
Every tackle, every pass, every shot, it was celebrated like a goal, and I love being part of them sort of games because you feed off that energy and that gets you going. Like if I'll make a save and the crowd erupts and all your players are loving it, everyone's shouting, everyone's joining it, you feel like the momentum's going in your way. And you saw it in the Disability Cup final when we played. I had an amazing game, being realistic, but we had an amazing game, and the crowd of us as well was a pretty much a hostile crowd. A lot of people were Everton fans, but then games started changing. We started changing our atmosphere. Like we were celebrating every tackle, celebrating everything, and we slowly had that game like it was ours. And eventually, like, well, there we go, winner.
You can't complain there. Winner of the FA Disability Cup.
And I know Burbs will be watching, so Burbs, just look at that and. How did that feel, mate?
He's had a few shots.
Oh no, I'm so gonna get a text saying I won it last year, Aki, whatever. But, yeah. Just Aki_GK. Just the guy with one hand on Instagram, innit?
and they'll all be they'll be popping up on the screen as well. Yeah. And also in the links in the description. Make sure you do check out Tom as well across all socials. Check out what he can do on the footy pitch, because trust me, he's good.
Thank you very much.
And then we'll organise that FIFA game as well. Definitely.
Yeah. Great, it's been a pleasure.
Mate, thank you very much. If you are watching on YouTube, please do comment who you want to see on this podcast, do let me know, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.
Score prediction tonight.
Score prediction tonight. England will win 5-0.
Are you joking?
I just want to see a 5-0.
Oh, because you looked at the camera like dead serious.
5-0 England.
3-1 England.
I was hoping so.
England definitely.
If we win 5-0 now, this has been on video.
Yeah, I know, definitely.
Watch it, we get big pan 5-0 now tonight.
We better not. Otherwise it's sick going out.
And if you are listening on Spotify, give a 5-star review. It helps push his content out. And do follow me as well. But mate, thank you very much.
Yeah, been a pleasure.
See you again.
Thank you very much.